inch by inch, row by row. Gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it deep and low. Gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row. Please bless these seeds I sow. Please keep them safe below till the rain come tumbling down.
Hey, this is Dancing Rabbit. Welcome to another Saturday Pagan Perspective. I'm getting this week's video up on time because I'm actually recording it a couple of weeks earlier on March 6th. This week's question comes to us from Woodwife Green, and she writes, I'm getting ready to start planting some of my garden. How about pagan garden rituals? Well, Woodwife, in my practice, gardening is an act of worship. It's a spiritual practice, and I believe that this comes down to us from our Neolithic forebears who first discovered agriculture. The idea that you could save some of the seeds from last year's harvest and stick them in the ground and grow more food, which you didn't have to search out, you didn't have to gather, you could just go out and pick. It's a spiritual practice partly because it really illustrates the wheel of the year. In the springtime, the young sun pours his energy into the young, fresh earth, and she warms. Seeds are thrust into the earth, and the warmth of the sun and the moisture of the rain cause them to germinate and to grow. The sun pours his energy into the growing plants, and they thrive, and later in the season they bring forth their seed, their fruit, which is cut down and harvested. So this is the wheel of the year. This is reenacting the myth. It's more than just raising food. It's more than just a pleasant outdoor activity. It is, for me, an act of worship. Gardening is usually restricted to the growing season. Well, unless you have some kind of heated greenhouse or you're going to grow some things indoors. The growing season begins after the last fall, the last frost of the season, and ends normally at the first frost in the fall. So in Arkansas we had a fairly long growing season, and I thought when I moved to South Texas, being a little further south, there'd be an even longer growing season. Well, that's not actually true, because here we have two growing seasons. We have a late winter, spring growing season that starts after the last frost, if there is a frost, and there was a couple of frosts this year, and it ends when it gets just too darn hot for normal plants to survive, sometime in July. The second growing season starts in late September, early October, and goes on through usually the end of December or even early January. So it's been a real trick for me to pick plants, crops that had a short enough growing season to survive either of these two growing seasons. I've really not had much luck with tomatoes because they have to have fairly chilly nights, not freezing, but they have to have cool nights to set fruit. So here in Houston I've grown lots of tomato vines, but very, very few tomatoes. So I'm going to try again this year. This is my new raised bed garden. I put it in last weekend when we were under the waning moon. So my idea was to tear out some stuff and put in the dirt and the compost. One of the other problems we have here in Houston is the soil. It's a very fine silt which doesn't have a lot of organic material, doesn't have a lot of nutrients, and water soaks through really fast. So raised bed with lots and lots of compost is the solution. You might also notice that I've got a chicken wire fence around it, not to keep the chickens in, but to keep the Basenjis out. So I'm going to be doing some planting here, and if I don't run out of daylight, I'll be adding this to my video. Before I totally lose the evening light, I wanted to show you what I've planted so far and how I do a planting in ritual. So here we've got my tomatoes. This year I'm doing Big Beef, which is on the right, and Better Bush, which is on the left. These have about a 2-week quicker fruiting than the Arkansas Traveler and Bradley's that I'm accustomed to using in Arkansas. Next to them, because they're also kind of tall, I've got my eggplant. Yes, Feather, just one eggplant this year. These things make lots of fruit, and there's just so many different ways that you can fix an eggplant. Next to that is what will be a bay tree. Plant of green forever strong, growing here where you belong. Roots grow deep and branches climb by the power of this rhyme. Plant of green forever strong, growing here where you belong. Roots grow deep and branches climb by the power of this rhyme. Plant of green forever strong, growing here where you belong. Roots grow deep and branches climb by the power of this rhyme. Plant of green forever strong, growing here where you belong. Roots grow deep and branches climb by the power of this rhyme. I give you life. I give you love. I give you joy. I give you life. I give you love. I give you joy. Hey, Dancing Rabbit here again. It's March 18th. I was able to get my garden planted, but I wasn't able to get the video finished because it just got too dark to shoot video. So I'm finishing video this afternoon, and I wanted to show you my seed planting ritual. I've got some excellent, just found it this year, seed starter mix. It's Burpee eco-friendly seed starting concentrate seed mix stuff, and it comes in these bricks, and all you do is add water and it grows almost magically. It's mostly shredded coconut hull, but that's what I'm going to use in a shallow trench in my front rose garden to plant some coleus and some cosmos. So that ought to add some color to the garden, because it may be next season before I actually get some roses. So I'm going to do the seed starter and show you how to plant seeds. Okay, here's the magic seed starter stuff, and like I promised, you just add water. You add water and it grows. And you add more water and it grows some more. I don't know if you can see it, but this, what was a little brick of seed starter stuff, is almost filling my pan, and it keeps growing. And it does a really good job of helping seeds grow too. Okay, now for the planting of the seeds. I've got my seed starting mixture laid in a trench. The cosmos seeds are kind of small. The coleus seeds are really small. So I'm just going to video the planting of the cosmos seeds, and I'll put the coleus seeds in later a little more carefully. As wand is to male, so furrow is to female. Together, they are a great blessing. I plant these seeds into Mother Earth. May they grow and be strong. By the power of the Horned Lord and the Great Mother. So mote it be. I give you life. I give you love, I give you joy. Well, everything that I put in the garden isn't practical. It may be down to earth in a literal sense, but not always in a real sense. I'm kind of the practical Virgo, and Feather is the ever whimsical Gemini, and so she got us some of these solar-powered butterfly lights to put in the garden. So I'm putting them together, and the light's on top, and the butterfly goes on top of the light, and the solar thing goes on top of that, and then you put them in the ground and you let them charge up, and you've got butterflies lit up at night. I think they're going to have time to charge up over the weekend, so when Feather comes back on Monday, Ostara, there'll be all these beautiful butterflies flying through the night garden. I wanted to take you back to the backyard herb and vegetable garden and see how things have been doing the last 2 weeks. Remember, I planted just after new moon, so I was planting during the waxing moon, and things are coming along. Big beef tomato, better bush tomato, my black beauty eggplant, bay tree. I've got bunches of herbs, creeping marjoram, Italian oregano, Thai basil, rue, which is not exactly edible, but it's a magical herb, dill, which I really like, and some spicy hot oregano. I've got a row of purple top turnips and a row of Paris Island lettuce. Now, the turnips and the lettuce are really thick, and the seedlings are going to have to be thinned if they're going to grow and mature, have enough room to do all that. So, full moon, Feather and I are going to do a garden ritual that will be after our group Ostara ritual. Anyway, next week, during the waning moon, I'll be thinning out the turnips and thinning out the lettuce, and I'm not just going to throw it away. I'm going to cook it and make it into salad, and we're going to enjoy and eat it. So, I didn't quite have enough time to get to the other question, the one about Ostara, but if you'll go over to my personal channel, Dancing Rabbit 52, I expect to have up a kind of talking head explanation of Ostara and possibly some of the actual Ostara ritual. Gonna wish you peace, love, and lots of beautiful spring gardening, and we're gonna go out with one of my favorite folk artists, Pete Seeger.
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it deep and low, gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds I sow. Please keep them safe below till the rain come tumbling down. Pulling weeds, picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. Need a spot to call my own, for the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music of the land. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it deep and low, gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds I sow. Please keep them safe below till the rain come tumbling down. Plant your rows short or long, season with a prayer and a song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her loving care. Old crow watches from a tree, God is hungry, eye on me. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there.